RFK Racing, also known as Roush Fenway Keselowski Racing, has taken a major step forward this year in performance. From having both cars miss the playoffs last year to comfortably having both of them well into the playoff standings with 6 races to go in the regular season, they have taken a massive swing upwards. From battling for top 20s and top 15s to contending for top 10s and top 5s week in and week out, the improvement within the team has put others on notice this season. What has gone into them becoming a staple of all the Ford teams, even with Ford being a little step behind the competition? Well, it's quite simple. They're a competitive team with great drivers on the rise. Roush Racing was founded by Jack Roush, a former Ford employee and a former drag racing and other motorsports champion in the 1960s. He competed in NHRA, SCCA Trans Am, MSA GT, and the Rolex 24 Daytona. The NASCAR operations for the team was founded in 1988 and built mainly around having multiple cars and providing engine, engineering, and race car builds and chassis to other NASCAR teams fielding Ford branded vehicles. The first driver for Roush Racing was none other than Mark Martin, and their first season together was an inconsistent mess. The team would run good but struggled to finish off races, but showed potential for the newly formed team, finishing 15th in the final standings with 3 top 5s and 10 top 10s, with 1 pole coming at Dover that season. Mark scored the team's first win in 1989 at Rockingham. This would be the start of something special between these two for years to come. Going into the 90s, the team and Mark Martin found their stride rather quickly. Mark opened up the 1990 season as the championship favorite after just missing out on it a year prior due to an engine failure at Atlanta, relegating him to a 3rd place points finish. Mark had a stellar season with 3 wins, 16 top 5s, and 23 top 10s and 3 poles. But ultimately, an illegal carburetor part found on the team's race-winning car at Richmond penalized them 46 championship points, which led to them losing the championship to Dale Earnhardt by 26 points. Talk about a heartbreak. Well into the 90s, it was known that Mark Martin and Roush Racing would be a force to be reckoned with for years to come. It seemed like only a matter of time before they got over that championship hump. Or you would think at the time. By 1998, Roush Racing was fielding 5 cars in the field, with the 6th being Mark Martin, the 16 being Ted Musgrave, the 26 being Johnny Benson, the 97 being Chad Little, and the 99 being Jeff Burton. Jeff Burton was the only other driver that would score wins with Roush alongside Mark out of that driver lineup. In 2002, Roush had a new major lineup of talent for the foreseeable future that shaped how the team ran. Mark Martin was still in his legendary 6, Greg Biffle in the part-time, soon-to-be full-time 16, Matt Kenseth in the 17, Kurt Busch in the 97, and Jeff Burton in the 99. The team's first championship would come in 2003 with Matt Kenseth, who showed that consistency was all that mattered in the Winston Cup format. His stats were 1 win, 11 top 5s, 25 top 10s, and an average finish of 10.3. Roush would go back-to-back the next year with youngster Kurt Busch winning the championship in the first ever chase for the Cup format. His stats were 3 wins, 10 top 5s, 21 top 10s, and an average finish of 12.5. But when 2005 came around, it started a new era for Roush. With Jeff Burton departing at season's end, Roush brought up Truck Series champion Carl Edwards up to the Cup Series to drive the 99, and he had instant success, winning his first race that year in a photo finish at Atlanta against soon-to-be 7-time champion Jimmy Johnson.
Another one of those fantastic Atlanta finishes. Johnson tries to block him. It's who can stay in the throttle here off turn 2. And here they come, and I think Carl's got the advantage on him. He does. He wins. Already.
Roush was on fire that year, with all 5 cars being in the chase for the Cup that season, which was unprecedented at the time, since there was only 10 cars in the format at that time. This was an unbelievable achievement for this team, but unfortunately, neither car ended up with a championship. Before heading into the 2006 season, it was speculated that Mark would retire following the 2005 season. He embarked on a farewell tour that season, running some classic commemorative paint schemes. What was supposed to be Mark's final race before retirement, he finished second to Greg Biffle on the photo finish at Homestead. As we all know, Mark would actually go on to race for 8 more seasons after that, part-time and full-time. In 2007, sports investor and owner of Fenway Sports Group, John W. Henry, bought a 50% stake of the team. The team would be renamed Roush Fenway Racing, with Jack Roush still behind all the day-to-day operations. It explains the Red Sox paint schemes those seasons. From 2007 to 2012, it was business as usual. Roush's 5 drivers were still super competitive and winning races every single season. With Edwards tying for the championship with Tony Stewart in 2011 and Kenseth winning 2 Daytona 500s in 2009 and 2012. But after the 2012 season, things would change as Kenseth announced that he would be moving to Joe Gibbs Racing to drive the 20 car starting in 2013. Roush had to find a new driver to fill that hole, and luckily, there was a back-to-back Nationwide Series champion that would move up the ranks for the team. Ricky Stenhouse. We all know him now. He's quite the aggressive driver. He also did not back up his Nationwide Series titles with Roush. 2013 is where the decline started for Roush. While Edwards was still as good as ever, Stenhouse struggled in his rookie season, and Biffle started showing a decline in performance. This would be roughly the same for 2014, but nobody would have seen what was coming next. Carl Edwards would leave Roush Fenway at the end of the 2014 season and join Kenseth at Joe Gibbs Racing starting in 2015. This left Roush with 3 drivers and a downscale of what used to be a 5-car operation in the past. Their drivers now included Trevor Bayne in the 6, Greg Biffle in the 16, Ricky Stenhouse in the 17. The next few years went just as expected, as they would not win a single race in 2015 and 2016 and show a massive decline in performance for all 3 teams. The downfall was unexpected and unprecedented at the time, but they fell hard onto the concrete surface in the snap of a finger. After the 2016 season, Biffle left the team, leaving them with no one on the star-stacked roster of the 2005 season. 2017 started as expected. Both cars struggled to show speed at tracks that were not super speedways. They would hover around mid-pack and manly below 20th place. The winless streak for Roush was absolutely remarkable to see for fans that had been following along with the team for as long as they've been around. But on one Sunday in Talladega, that all changed.
Work it, dude, work it.
Last lap. Bang, that
helped.
Bush into McMurray. Stenhouse gets away a little bit. 3 wide. Here they come off turn 4. This is the finish these fans came and stayed for. Ricky Stenhouse, the pride of Olive Branch, Mississippi. Top to bottom. Kyle Busch to the outside, gets blocked by Stenhouse. Here they come. Stenhouse wins it. Woohoo!
He did it. Stenhouse actually did it. He brought Roush Fenway its first win in over 100 races. He's in the Cup Series playoffs. There may be some sort of light at the end of the tunnel for the team after all. Stenhouse would go on and win again that same season at the Summer Daytona race, backing up his super speedway talents and showing that they were a threat on the restrictor plate tracks. Now, if only they can translate to all the other ones. Oh no.
And it's funny.
Around goes the 17. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. hard into the inside wall. A lot of damage to the front end.
See right here, this is on the exit of turn 4. He just gets very, very, very loose. Tries to correct, overcorrects. Hard into the outside wall a couple times. Pretty heavy damage.
Up the racetrack trying to avoid the 6. Got sideways.
The 6 blew a tire because he had hit the wall about 2 laps before. In the middle of 3 and 4, he had gotten into the wall, and he drove into 1, and right there the tire's down. Hits the wall. Then Allmendinger just in responding and reacting to...
On the car, he had the tape on the front.
You heard him say how big of an impact that was. We were just talking about late in the run. Well, there you go. Oh, gosh. Such an impact.
And look at this in real speed.
Oh, God.
Okay, well, that went about as well as the Seagull flying head-on into Dale Sr.'s run-in at Daytona. Stenhouse and Bayne declined somehow even worse than before for the next season, and so badly that Matt Kenseth had to be brought out of retirement to help the 6-car run better in points. After the 2018 season, another winless season approached, but there was one driver that could change the trajectory of the program once and for all. Enter the Rocket Man. Nobody expected much from Ryan Newman joining Roush after his final few seasons with RCR were not up to par with how they'd want. But Newman gave that team life again. He gave them playoff aspirations. Hell, he made the playoffs in the 6-car that season and almost won the Fall Talladega race in a photo finish with Ryan Blaney. This was astounding. Was Roush back? Could they contend for top 10s and possibly wins on a weekly basis? I mean, Newman's about to win the Daytona 500 in 2020. There's no reason for... Oh, crap. After that crash, Ryan Newman was never the same at Roush. In fact, he declined faster than Trevor Bayne did. It looked like he was about to have a major career resurgence before that wreck. Maybe it just wasn't meant to be. Maybe Roush was cursed. I wonder if there's someone out there that could, buy a stake of the company, rebrand it once more, and also drive for them. I wonder who that could be. Now we enter Bradley Keselowski. On July 20th, 2021, it was announced that Brad would leave his flagship 2 car at Team Penske and take over part ownership of the team and drive the famous number 6 starting in 2022 for the newly rebranded Roush Fenway Keselowski Racing, or RFK Racing for short. He would join Chris Buescher in the 17, who has been a Roush prospect since his Xfinity days in the mid-2010s. Maybe this was a step in the right direction. Could Roush come back, or was this a career suicide for Brad? Well, from the first season together, it looked as if it was a career suicide. Brad ran mediocre all season and finished 24th in the final standings, a drastic fall off from making the championship 4 just 2 seasons ago. It wasn't all bad though. Chris Buescher got the team its first win since 2017 at Bristol Night Race, securing his second career win. There wasn't much expectations for the 2023 season. Maybe some steady improvement, maybe a win or two, but we'll see what happens. Hold up. Brad is showing the super speedway prowess again. They have the best cars at speed weeks. But again, that's just the Daytona 500. Anyone can race good there. Wait, Brad has actual speed this week in Auto Club. He finished 7th. That's amazing. And Buescher got a top 5? They're both showing such good speed. They're the best Ford team so far in the season. Brad almost won Atlanta. Did they finally do it? Have they actually resurged? RFK as a whole has shown great speed this season. They've been contending for top 10s and top 5s almost every race this season and have looked like the best Ford team over Team Penske, which is saying something coming from a Logano fan. They're both comfortably in the playoffs right now, with almost 100 points over the cut line for both drivers. If you're a Brad fan, be excited for the rest of the season and the next few seasons. He's going to win a race this year, mark my words. Also, if you're a Christopher Buescher fan, be heavily excited. This may be the part of his career that defines who he is as a driver for years to come. I will definitely say, RFK has come a long way, with plenty of ups and downs, but I can comfortably say, they are back. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. It took over 2 weeks to make with the writing the script and preparing the video. I hope you guys enjoyed this as much as I did working on it. I hope you'll tune into my next few videos that I'm excited to get out to you guys. Thank y'all for all the support, and I hope you'll stay along for the journey. This is Dakota, signing out. Peace, y'all.